I have never spoken of this, but I will say this out loud now. I was assaulted on a plane last year, and I haven't been able to get this person's name. They won't give me the name of the person. And again, this is the first time I've even spoken of this, but it's a really tough. It's a really tough thing to deal with when something happens to you and you do everything that you're supposed to do, and somebody somewhere else decides, well, we're not going to go forward with this. We're not going to look into this any further. And you're walking around in circles asking for information that is owed you. And the amount of care that is taken to protect perpetrators is vastly heavier and stronger than the amount of care that is taken to protect victims.
You were on a plane.
I was asleep on a plane. And I was assaulted by the man sitting next to me.
This was another passenger?
Mm-hmm. And they will not give me his name. There's a Freedom of Information Act. You're supposed to be able to get people's names. And I made a report right then with the FBI, and they dropped it.
The FBI dropped it?
Dropped it.
Dropped the case?
Dropped the case.
On what grounds?
I really don't know. I really don't know.
Who the airline knows the name of the passenger?
Yes. They're not allowed to tell me the name of the passenger, apparently.
Not allowed? That's
what I've been told. So I say this to say, I'm a woman asleep on a plane. I wasn't dressed up. I wasn't fancy. I actually looked like I was probably in school. And somebody felt free to touch me in that moment.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
This has been in the past year?
This is in the past year.
I was going to ask you if you had this experience with anybody in Hollywood, but it don't even have to happen that way.
You don't have to be in Hollywood. You don't have to be dressed up. You don't have to be a siren. I was on a plane in a skull cap, looking like a kid, basically. And this person felt free to touch me. It's mind-blowing.
So what did it awaken you?
It woke me.
And what did you do?
Well, ultimately, I don't want to talk about everything because, again, I would like to find this person and deal with it with them legally. But we turned the plane around. We turned that plane around. And I was offered that option in the beginning, and I said no because it seemed like the person was then going to go to sleep, and I felt like, maybe he's chilling, and I told the steward and stewardess, I said, I just want you to keep an eye on this person. I just want you to know that this is happening. And then he said some things that were so out of the box that I was like, just let's stop the plane. But at that point, we'd left late. We were starting to take off late. I didn't know who had connections somewhere else, who was trying to get somewhere important. So I was like, it's a short flight. Just pay attention to him. Let's just keep it moving. And then it escalated to a point where I was like, I don't know what to do with myself. Yes, please turn the plane around. And I was shaking. I was so upset and so hurt and angry. Like angry. I wanted to punch that man. And I knew that would take away from the story that I had to tell, so that I had to hold in everything that I was feeling to be able to tell this story and be heard and taken seriously from the place that I was in. It's interesting.
They won't give you his name, but of course you know him if you saw him.
Oh, I have a picture of him.
I can't imagine why they wouldn't give you. Okay, well, yeah, that's a whole. Hopefully, there's still some legal.
I'm not finished.
No, I hope not.
I'm not finished.
Well, and I appreciate your courage for sharing that with us. And, making yourself vulnerable to share that story. But to those women who are listening who have also had to deal with this or may have to deal with it, unfortunately, at some point, what has been your process to try and heal yourself and deal with it?
I can honestly say that I have not done much with it. I made my report. I followed up with the police like I was told to do. The police did nothing. And then I shut it back down for a little bit because I have things to do. And I still have to get on planes. And for a while, it was very hard for me to rest on a plane. My most recent flight, my seatmate was a woman, and I was so glad because I slept the entire flight. But I'm somebody who sleeps on planes really well, and I love it because I'm like, all right, I know I'm going to spend the whole night packing because I'm a terrible packer, but I'm going to get on that plane and I'm going to lay it down. And I haven't done that the same since. I don't really know how you deal with that. It was such a sly violence, such a sly violation. So
you all sat next to, did he interact with you before the plane took off?
No. I don't know this person. He didn't introduce himself to me. There wasn't even a hi, how you doing?
And you fall asleep.
And I was asleep, like before the plane even took off. Like I'm one of those sleepers. Kind of sleep, I'm like,
well, you sound like me. You stay up all night and pack.
I pack. You
get on that plane, you out.
Forget it. That engine starts, and I'm like a baby in the car. I'm out. And he ruined it. So no, I haven't really dealt with it. And again, this is the first time I've said something other than to some friends. I immediately texted people. I said, I can't believe this shit just happened. I was so upset. So I texted like 3 or 4 people and talked to some attorneys in Connecticut who are family friends to see how to deal with it because I didn't really know how to deal with that. And and I had to work. I had things to do. And I was told that I had to make a police report
right.
where it happened. So, it was it's been a lot. And it sounds like a very small thing. It's not. It is the police definition of rape. It is not the definition of rape that we think of because we think of rape as intercourse. And rape is really beyond intercourse when we look at what the definition is. It doesn't make it less of a violation. It doesn't make it less. It is less of a violation. It's a different type of violation, but it doesn't make it less shocking. I'll say that. I'm not a cryy person, and I was crying on that plane, which upset me even more, because it really got under me.
I don't want to keep making you relive it, but the plane was turned around. Was he apprehended?
He was removed from the plane.